Welcome, everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk through the Champion Bellyacher deck of the Vibes TCG. Now, this is a new deck concept that has recently become available to play because LilBellyacher was the bugs were finally fixed on it, and it's available again in the online client. Before I start, I want to give a big shout out to Pokemon Face and Waxpunk, who have both been very helpful in kind of working on this list. So this list is still very early in its development. So I'm definitely still going through the process of trying to figure out how it should work and what cards should go in and kind of the core mechanics of the deck. So let's talk through kind of how it works. But before that, let's talk about the overall idea of the deck. So it's basically a pure Bellyacher deck. Now, I think this by itself is a very dangerous way to build a deck. So I don't think that this will ever be that good of a deck. Like, I think it really needs something else. And the reason for that is, right, the way Bellyacher works, and we can talk about this card first, is it says, act, ice another penguin in your huddle, search your deck for a little penguin card with a fish cost one greater than the fish uh, of cost of the penguin you iced, put that into your huddle, shuffle your deck. So at its core, this card is extremely powerful because you basically can just cycle through your penguins. And you'll see some of the combos that we have in the deck later. So it on its face is really strong, but the problem is it's very weak to removal because what'll happen is you play the Bellyacher and then you activate it to ice a card in your deck, and then your opponent just has to remove the Bellyacher with like a sunburn or a peace out or anything, and then all of a sudden you've been 2 for 1. So it's a very dangerous card from that perspective. But if your opponent doesn't have removal, it can get out of control really fast. So I do really think that this deck, to be successful, Bellyacher has to be kind of like a auxiliary condition in the deck, not the primary engine. And so this deck has it as a primary engine. I will say that so personally, I think the best way to build this deck probably is to make a hybrid version of this and the Coliseum deck. However, Coliseum is still banned, so we're just going to play it in its purest form. And maybe you guys have some ideas of how to make this deck even better. So okay, so we've got Little Bellyacher, and then the question is, what are we actually doing with the Bellyacher? So first, let's talk about the win condition. The win condition is Champion of the Clouds, because this is whenever another Lil enters the huddle, put a vibe counter on that Lil and a vibe counter on this Lil. So you basically have Champion of the Clouds out, and then you just cycle through a bunch of penguins, and Champion of the Clouds can get absolutely massive. Like I've had it in the 30 vibes easily. And then you have Little Extrovert, which goes with Champion of the Clouds, in order to just stack the counters on the champion. So Little Extrovert together with Champion can make the champion grow super super fast. So then it's like, okay, so now we have Bellyacher. So what's really powerful with that is LilWaker, which says pick 2 cards in your ice and put them at the bottom of your deck, and then choose a flop, non-silly Lil, and unflop it. So use LilWaker to unflop Bellyacher. And so that way you can kind of get 2 triggers from it. And what's really cool is because this comes in unflopped, let's say that you have a like 2 vibe penguin, a 2 fish penguin. You then use Bellyacher on the 2 fish penguin to get LilWaker. Then you use LilWaker to unflop the Bellyacher. Then you use the Bellyacher on the LilWaker to get another Bellyacher, and then you use another Bellyacher. So you've actually had 3 triggers go off with the Bellyacher, and then your Champion of the Clouds all of a sudden has gained maybe 6, 9 vibe counters, and it's just growing out of control. So the other cards, okay, so that's kind of the core engine of the deck. Then we have what Lils we want to use. So LilWithHoops is really strong because you can basically get card advantage in 2 ways. First of all, you can use LilWaker to draw 2 cards with it. And then second, you can use Bellyacher to basically use it to draw a card, but then ice it as fuel for Bellyacher. So LilWithHoops can actually get you card advantage frequently in this deck. We're then also just playing, we're playing LilFrosty as kind of the 1 drop, and we're playing LilBalloons as kind of just a 2 drop, just a standard, just 2 drop to win some vibe checks to get the Bellyacher out fast if you have it in your hand at the start. So then, oh yeah, something I didn't mention, the other weakness of the deck is if you just don't draw Bellyacher. So if you build your whole deck around 1 card, you basically have to hard mulligan for it, and there are games where you just won't draw it, in which case you'll just lose those games. So that's another challenge with the deck. So then um, we have the relic removal. So we've got PoppinPete and Tina. So these are really nice because they're enter the huddle effects. So you can basically get them to come in, remove the relic, and then you just feed them to Bellyacher again. We're running 4 WhataTwists because this can work with LilWithHoops, can work with Bellyacher. It can just be, it's really good in this deck because there's a lot of flopping and unflopping going on. And then at the top end, we've got LilZoomer, which is great because it can bounce something back into your opponent's hand. And then Dina, in case you're playing against a relic deck. It can be good to get these out as kind of the top options for Bellyacher. Unfortunately, there's no 7 fish, Lil, so the chain has to start with the 6 fish ones. We're also playing, LilDaydreamer, so this can be good against an ascending penguin or against your opponent's Bellyacher. So LilDaydreamer is just really nice because you can kind of bring that into the game and then remove a penguin if you have to. So then on top of that, we're playing the Popcorn Inspiring Story package. I don't know if this is right in this deck, but one of the reasons that there's just a lot of deck types that this deck can struggle with, like yellow, for example. And so the Popcorn Story can kind of help with that. So I don't know. I don't know if it's right. It's also good. Story is good to defend your Bellyacher from some stuff like Sunburn and Little Daydreamer from the other side. Then after that, we've got SpringaLeak. We have to defend the Bellyacher at all costs. So that's why we play SpringaLeak. And then we also play Bashful Swordsman. The reason we play Bashful Swordsman is this deck really can do nothing against a Snow Globe. So if your opponent plays a Snow Globe, you literally have absolutely no way to win. So like an early Snow Globe would just beat this deck. So Bashful Swordsman gives you a chance to play against an early Snow Globe. All right, so there you have it. Like I said before, I don't really know if this deck is that good. I've played a few games with it. All of them I've won, and so that's a good start, I guess. But it is just, I think a lot of times people just don't know what's coming, and I think I've played like 5 games or something like that. So let's jump into some games, see what happens, and maybe we'll be adjusting the list throughout this video because it's still so unrefined. All right, so in the mulligan, it's very simple. If its card is not Bellyacher, get rid of it. Even if you already have some Bellyachers, you just need more Bellyachers because, yeah, because you want just as many as possible. So I think I'm not going to play LilFrosty just because I need a Bellyacher. So I will just play that as a rod. So I want to draw as many cards as possible in order to maximize your chance of getting Bellyacher. And if you have one Bellyacher, you just mulligan everything else because you need 2 Bellyachers. So I think overall we will play this. We'll play to lose the vibe check, just because. Yeah, we just need Bellyacher. If I had some Bellyachers, I would play to win the vibe check probably. But so yeah, let's just keep. Yeah, I think maybe we play the bashful as the rod. But okay, so we'll go into champion, like little extrovert champion. Could work. So okay, so there's some sort of yellow. So that's good. So we'll play the popcorn then. And against yellow, you pretty much always want to lose the vibe check anyway. So it's kind of a situation where, yeah. So this is why we run the popcorn package. Um, I could play the hoops because that's gonna at least draw me a card, which will help me get towards Bellyacher. But I'm still gonna play the rod because, right, the idea is, well, first of all, I want to play popcorn next turn. Because if I can just get a 2 for 1 and slow them down, that'll be good. It's a little sad. Well, no, they'll win the vibe check this turn, I think. Well, I guess if they do check the yellow pages, not. Because I don't want to play popcorn and get blown out by Penguin who zooms. So we do need to be careful with that. Okay, so that probably won't happen. Well, maybe it will, because right, they could still, well, they could play double Penguin with zooms. So let's see if they do a check the yellow pages or something like that. Okay, well now with the second popcorn, we'll definitely play the popcorn. So, um, hmm. So yeah, so if they do check the yellow pages, okay, so they didn't do that. So okay, so the nice thing is the popcorn will be able to, I think we'll be able to. They won't be. We'll be able to keep them off the pudge for not your keys. Um, but yeah, so I am a little. Yeah, so I still haven't drawn the Bellyacher, which is definitely a problem. Okay, so PoppinPete is not ideal. Okay, so we'll play with the popcorn. I think we want to keep both champions and the extrovert. The little daydreamer, well, the little daydreamer could be useful, I guess. So I guess we'll play the LilWaker because the little daydreamer is able to, yeah, the little daydreamer will be able to remove a penguin from their side to keep them off of the winning turn. So let's see. Okay, so we're gonna win this vibe check, um, which is not what we want. Okay, so they got him and put your flippers. Okay, so got him, put your flippers in something else that I didn't catch. So okay, so that's gonna be unfortunate because, well, maybe we'll get the inspiring story. If we get inspiring story, that'll be really good. But I'm kind of yeah, so SpringaLeak, yeah, this is really becoming a problem because we don't really have a good, yeah, we still haven't drawn Bellyacher. So, do I want to play a Champion of the Clouds? I do just worry about Yum Yum. Okay, so I think, right, so I think if they play a Gotham, yeah, they're gonna play Gotham, remove the popcorn. But if I play a second popcorn, they can just outlast the popcorns. So I think I'll just play the Daydreamer. Um, and I'll just remove a penguin with it probably. I just want to kind of keep this game going as slow as possible until I can draw the Bellyachers. So okay, so PoppinPete, it's not really a problem for us, I guess. Um yeah, so okay, so I'll remove the penguin who zooms with with a little Daydreamer. Hmm. I guess I'll wait. I'll make them play the Gotham, and then I can use the little Daydreamer on the penguin who zooms, and that will make them win the vibe check. And then I can use the second popcorn. Because yeah, I definitely need to lose vibe checks for sure. Because right, every vibe check I lose is 2 draws at Bellyacher. So at this point, if I got another little with hoops, I could play with LilWaker in order to get 2 draws from it. So that could be useful. Um, but I'm still, yeah, let's see. So if they play another good target, like a PoppinPete, yeah, then I think I'm just gonna play the popcorn because also if they play the penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes, that's going to be a problem for us. Okay, so SpringaLeak is good because if they have a Yum Yum, I'll need that. So the popcorn again. So my first popcorn got a 3 for 1. So this popcorn hopefully will get, I mean, it will get at least a 2 for 1 unless they have a penguin who zooms. So that will be maybe a problem. I still haven't gotten a Bellyacher, so I'm 37 cards in. So Bellyacher could be interesting with Popcorn Penguin, if they don't play any penguins, right? So if they play a penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes, right, that would be a problem for us. All right, so we got a PoppinPete, also not what we need. I think we will play this as a rod. I do think I'm going to just need rods over time. So here, if we had a Bellyacher, it would be amazing because then we could use the Bellyacher on the popcorn. So okay, so we're still, yeah. Maybe I should have been a little more greedy with the second popcorn and waited for one more target. But okay, well, Lil with balloons is not what we needed. Okay, so we finally got the Bellyacher. Okay, so we're gonna play the Bellyacher, and then I guess I guess we'll play the LilWaker. It's a little sad because we're not gonna be able to actually, well, we can use the Bellyacher to get a second Bellyacher from the LilWaker, but we need like, yeah, we need something to use. So yeah, so the Bellyacher can get a second LilWaker or a second Bellyacher. So we'll get Bellyacher into Bellyacher. And then next turn we'll have Champion of the Clouds into um into what? We'll see. Okay, so we get another Bellyacher. All right, so we got Bellyacher into Bellyacher. So we're missing like a little penguin to play because the rest of our cards are engine cards. But I guess theoretically we can upgrade a Little Waker all the way to a champion. But okay, so let's just see. So we've got our little Bellyacher engine set up now. So okay, so we'll play Champion of the Clouds for sure. And then I guess we will play Little Waker. Because we'll do Little Waker. Yeah, it's just I'm like out of little penguins. Because like the popcorn would be nice, but I can't really use the popcorn. So I guess we'll do it like this. Um and then right, we do need 2 blue pudge. So maybe if they play like a penguin that doesn't mind goodbyes or something, we could penguin who zooms. Okay, so daydreaming. All right. So still good, I guess. Hmm. So do we want to upgrade the I kind of think I want to save the LilWaker for the yeah, I think I want to save the LilWaker because Yum Yum might be coming. So I think I might need 2 blue pudge. Okay, so they're going to play that. Hmm. Okay, let's see. So what do they want? Do they want to play Not Your Keys maybe? I'm not sure exactly where this is going. Like what do they really need 4 pudge for? Because if they use Not Your Keys, I can just Bellyacher the target. Okay, they want check the yellow pages. Okay. So let's see what they get. I'm gonna try to pay attention better now to kind of see all the options. So we've got basically a okay, so we've got a good got him, the got him and the twist. But okay, so the nice thing about got him is we can actually use a Bellyacher on our popcorn penguin this turn. So we will okay, so we'll definitely play popcorn penguin. And then I think we'll play the extrovert. Yeah, so let's go like this. It's a little sad because I don't have the blue pudge. I would like one more blue pudge in order to have a SpringaLeak because I don't um so this is actually a funny combo. The Champion of the Clouds is boosting the PoppinPete, which allows the popcorn to still target the wizard penguin. So overall, and I want to well, do I want to do the wizard penguin or the I think I want to do the daydreaming penguin because I'm going to win the vibe check. And if they do not your keys, it's not a problem. So I think by doing that, okay, so here, um, I think I'm more worried about the daydreaming penguin. But yeah, that's kind of funny that the popping Pete and the popping Pete helped the champion of the clouds. So champion of the clouds has grown quite a bit, up to 9 vibe. Okay, so then here, when we do that, we will Bellyacher it in response. And then what do we want? We'll get the penguin, the zooming penguin, I guess. And so you can okay, and then I guess we'll Bellyacher this in response too. So we'll get lots of Bellyacher action going on. So we'll get the so Bellyacher is a really interesting defensive tool like this. Um because but again, I think in this case, I'm not sure it really matters. And then the penguin of zoom will come in and I'll just bounce the wizard penguin back. And then the champion will grow some. So I could keep going with the Bellyacher, but we're gonna win the game here because we're on 15. So I'll just wait and kind of see what happens. But overall, I think yeah, we didn't draw Bellyacher. So again, this is one of the big challenges of the deck. If you don't draw Bellyacher, you're just in a lot of trouble. And we kind of saw that here. So I don't yeah, I would say this was a pretty struggle game for this. Now my opponent I think also didn't draw very well. And oh, and we had 3 popcorns. Like yeah, I think the only reason we had any chance that we won this game is we drew 3 popcorns. Now, I do wonder if basically against a yellow, if 3 popcorns is just enough no matter what. So, like, if you draw 3 popcorns against yellow, especially this type of yellow build, like, you're generally gonna be fine. So, we didn't draw any, and we only played 3 popcorns, I think, right? So, yeah, I am feeling like I wish I had some more blue pudge. So, yeah, so let's take a look at the deck list again because I feel like I wanted to play the SpringaLeak, but I didn't have enough blue pudge. So I think I need to put I already have the 4 LilWakers in. I think I'll put one more the hoops in. Well, I guess hoops doesn't really give you blue pudge. Hmm. I think I want to cut story down to 3. So what do I want extra for this story? I think the little with hoops. We want the extra hoops just because we want like right. If we don't have Bellyacher, we want to turbo through the deck. Okay, so I think this maybe looks a little better. All right, so let's jump into the next game. All right, jumping to the next game. Again, hard mulligan for Bellyacher. Hopefully, we'll do better than last game in terms of drawing Bellyacher. So I think we need, yeah. So if we can get, so yeah. I mean, what are the odds if you hard mulligan? I think it's something like 90% by turn 4 is if you hard mulligan for something. But okay, so I still didn't get one. So hmm. All right, we'll play the LilFrosty again. I think because we do have the inspiring story with popcorn. We'll play the little hoops next turn and just draw a card just to try to get to Bellyacher quicker because it's basically just a cycle. So that should actually increase those odds of getting a Bellyacher by turn 4. Okay, yellow again. So, all right. So we'll be losing the vibe check on purpose. We'll go popcorn into story. So I think that won't be bad. We can't really do LilWaker into hoops because we wouldn't have that second card in the ice. Okay, so we've got the LilBellyacher. Okay, so now there's less reason to play hoops because we have the Bellyacher and we want to combo it. So I think we'll hold the hoops back. So then the question is, okay, so do we need inspiring story? So inspiring story can help. It can help against yellow. I think the extrovert is less important because against yellow, you don't really need that big of a penguin. So I think we will, yeah. Okay, so they're gonna have 3. Okay, so LilWaker. Okay, so I think the extrovert is the least important because with LilWaker, we can just get a ton of procs off. So yeah, but so we would probably play a LilWaker on turn 3 and then Bellyacher on turn 4 to turn the LilWaker into a Bellyacher. Maybe? Yeah. Or we just play the popcorn on turn 4 because I think we do want to just get the popcorn going as quickly as possible. So I could definitely see that happening. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, so the question is this popcorn enough on its own to kind of hold back the so it's nice they played the penguin who zooms because okay, so we definitely don't need 2 inspiring stories. So yeah, we'll be using that as a card. So again, yeah, so this is why I yeah, like popcorn like again, so popcorn is in here because of the yellow matchup. So and we can see here it's going to be even if it's just a 2 for 1, I think that's going to be worth it. Okay, so we will probably the extrovert. The only way we'll be able to deal with the extrovert is with okay, so we'll play the LilWaker just because why not? I guess. Yeah, just because we have the 3 pudge just to get it out. And I do think we'll use a popcorn next turn, but yeah, I think the penguin who zooms can take care of the extrovert penguin. So that's so if they play a second extrovert, that could become a problem. Although I guess popcorn can be used on the second extrovert to kind of get it before it starts growing. So let's see. Um, so we do have 2 Bellyachers. Also, I not sure if anyone noticed this, but I really don't like playing foil cards. And so, but unfortunately, I only have 3 non-foil Bellyachers. And I guess the reason I just don't like the foil cards is I think that they're like a little distracting, especially when you're making a video. And so that's why I think it's better to like I think if I weren't recording, I would maybe play them, but I think as a video, this is a little more distracting to kind of have those extra stuff on it. But if you guys think I should play more foil cards, let me know and I could maybe change that. Okay, so okay, so now we'll definitely play the popcorn. All right, so we'll play the popcorn. It's just a little sad because we're not really seeing the strength of this deck because we're just seeing the strength of Popcorn Penguin against yellow. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I think starting next turn. Okay. Well, all right. let's jump to the next game. But this was just popcorn against yellow. So hopefully we can do better on the next, or not do better, but just have a better matchup that's a little more showing the deck off. All right, so looking at our hand, we're going to just full mulligan again for Bellyacher. Maybe we'll get a Bellyacher in the starting hand. Okay, still didn't do that, but at least we have the hoops, so we'll be able to cycle through. I think one thing that's annoying is I really don't want to play the Zoomer as a rod, because once you play the Zoomer as a rod, we only have one in the deck. So I have been debating maybe putting Cooking Penguin in, because Cooking Penguin can actually help recycle your rods as well, because right, you can use Cooking Penguin to get into your ice, and then you use LilWaker to get it back in your deck, and you can kind of recycle everything with Bellyacher. But or I could just play a second Zoomer if Zoomer is really so good. So let's see. Um, Definitely we'll play LilWhoHoops next turn if that helps get to Bellyacher. Okay, so I think the well, maybe the swordsman. So we'll play the hoops. That will just get us one card closer. You know, maybe if they have a Gotham or something, they can deny the card draw, but that doesn't really slow us down. Okay, so we got the Bellyacher. Nice. So now it's good we have the Little with balloons, because we need actually something to use on the Bellyacher. So the question is, or should I use PoppinPete? So let's see what they play. If they play, okay, so they play nothing and stay at 2 rods. Okay, so we will play. Hmm. Yeah, I think we'll play PoppinPete. Yeah, because I'd rather have PoppinPete. Um, hmm. So yeah, that's a good. I think PoppinPete is better. I'm not sure, because I just don't want PoppinPete as a rod, because then if I end up rotting another PoppinPete, I don't have them in my deck, and Lil with balloons is way less useful. So I did want to play both just to have lots of Bellyacher options. So what I'm going to do next turn. All right, so this is the combo. So the combo is going to happen here. So I'm going to play Bellyacher. I don't really. Hmm, do I want to play the? I think I want to keep everything in my hand. I don't see a need. Okay, because I'm gonna get a Daydreamer and then a balloon probably. Um, hmm. So yeah, I think I'll just pass. Maybe this is wrong. So okay, so let's see. So they might be. Well, let's see what they play. Let's see if they have an answer to. Well, they probably can't answer Bellyacher with just 3 fish. So I think we're gonna get one clean Bellyacher turn off. So okay, so what do we want to do? So we want to first get we're gonna use Bellyacher on the PoppinPete. Again, this is why I played Pete instead of the balloons, because I want Pete in my ice so that Pete can go back into my deck, because I only have 2 copies of Pete. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna get the LilWaker. And then we're gonna use the LilWaker on the LilBellyacher to shuffle those 2 back in. And then we're gonna unflop the Bellyacher. And then with the Bellyacher, we're gonna use the LilWaker, and we're gonna get another Bellyacher. So why didn't I just use a LilFrosty? And it's because I want to get the Penguin with hoops next turn. So if I have 2 Bellyachers. Oh wait. Um yeah, so I would want to get. Do I want to get? I guess I'm going to skip the Penguin with hoops. It's okay. I will just uh, no, I think I'll wait, because next turn. Yeah, I think I'll wait, because next turn I want to get the Penguin with hoops. And by getting the penguin with hoops, that just gets me an extra card draw. So, and then I'll get the little another LilWaker out. So I'll go penguin and hoops into LilWaker. And then with my LilBellyacher, I'll get another LilWaker. And then that can turn one of my LilWakers maybe into a Bellyacher. So, okay, so we've got the engine going, but now we need to start thinking about the finisher as well. Oh, perfect. So we have a LilHoops already. So we play the LilHoops. Okay. So now we're going to get like a lot of card advantage this turn. But okay, so we'll see. All right, so let's see. All right, so they have popcorn. Okay, so the popcorn is going to deal with the hoops. Okay, so now the question is, do we want to actually deal with the popcorn? So okay, well let's just start. Let's start with the card draw, because I think we do want to, because what if they have a inspiring story? That could be a problem. So we'll get the little with hoops. So it's a little sad we lost our little with hoops, but we'll get the card advantage back here with this one. And then we're going to use this little of hoops to get the card advantage. Then we're going to use a Bellyacher on little with hoops. It's a little sad we only have one Daydreamer because the other one is a rod. So I am thinking maybe Cooking Penguin will be good. So we'll get the LilWaker. And with the LilWaker, we unflop the Bellyacher. Okay, so we want to put Waker and hoops back in the deck. And yeah, we'll definitely want the little Daydreamer, because I think I just want to get rid of this popcorn. Because if the popcorn gets out of control, like if they play an inspiring story next turn, we could be in trouble. So let's just take care of the popcorn while we can. And then, well, or I could just play LilZoomer next turn on the. So should I get rid of the popcorn or should I LilZoomer it? Hmm. I think I'll just get rid of it. Because the LilZoomer I could save for like a final turn somewhere. But okay, so I can get rid of the popcorn penguin. Now, if they ever play a relic, I have so much relic removal. And LilFrosty is really nice because it can restart the chain with the little with hoops. So they got one card advantage because the popcorn penguin is 2 for wanting us. But we have a card advantage because of the little with hoops. So maybe okay, so if they use like a not a rod anymore or something like that, that actually won't really matter to us because then we can just use the LilZoomer. So okay, so we basically tied the vibe check. All right, so we are gonna rotate through a bunch of our deck, but the question is like, are we really making progress? So we have the SpringaLeak, which is good. So I'm hoping we get like the Champion of the Clouds. Yeah, very nice. So, but the issue with the Champion of the Clouds is I don't have anything to do the Bellyacher chain with. I'm a little hesitant to play the um little Zoomer as the rod. Okay, I guess I can use the SpringaLeak as a rod because the reason I can use the SpringaLeak as a rod is I'm not really worried about single target removal. Like, because I have 2 Bellyachers already. So if they remove one at this point, it's okay. So, um, and now we can just start cranking out this giant Champion of the Clouds. Because, yeah, Little Zoomer, the problem is we can play it, then we can sacrifice it to the Bellyacher, but then we don't get another card for it. So it's like kind of negative card advantage. But I think it's okay. I think we can just play Zoomer next turn on whatever they play this turn. And we will be able to Bellyache a ton. Okay, so it's a potion deck. So let's just get we'll just get Dina out. Just to get our potion removal going. So I think we just immediately get to Dina this turn because we don't need a big Champion of Clouds for this matchup. So we'll just immediately remove the potion this turn, because then also if they have an answer for Dina, then we'll just kind of Bellyache to it again. So I think there is, yeah, so it's a good thing that we have Dina in the deck. So let's start with the LilFrosty. Like, let's get the card advantage done first. And then, yeah, because we have basically 3 procs. No, 4 procs. Well, 4 procs of Bellyacher. So, okay, so heads I win, tail you lose. Okay, I mean, our LilZoomer can go. It's not like it's that good of a okay, well, we kept it anyway. Now, okay, so I do think we want actually, yeah, so they could maybe have maybe they will have actually a drop of attention. So we definitely want to be able to deal with that. So how are we going to deal with that? SpringaLeak. So maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of my SpringaLeak. Yeah, because I think that's the only way we lose now is a drop of attention. So we just really need to just um, try to maximize our card draw, I think. So I think in the world of maximizing our card draw, I think I'd rather use a LilWaker on the Penguin with Hoops. Okay, so we send the, I think we want the LilFrosties back in the deck because they're really nice to get. The LilFrosties are really nice because they can kind of start the chain of belly aching. So yeah, I think I'm prioritizing the card draw. Um, so yeah, so we do that. The nice thing too is layer lasagna won't work on the Champion of the Clouds. So yeah, but I guess the Champion of the Clouds is gonna get lost here because it is yeah, we'll do that. So okay, so we're getting card advantage. So we'll look at how many card advantage we have at the end of this turn. But yeah, we're gonna have to lose a Champion of the Clouds, but that's okay. Um, I really want, yeah, I think I just want to get the Dina out. Like, I don't think I need to use my relic removal. Um, so again, right, you see we're just, oh, I should put the little Daydreamer back in the deck because, yeah, putting the little Daydreamer back in the deck is very important because maybe I need to deal with another popcorn or something. So we will just continue to flop and unflop our Bellyachers. So the one thing with this deck is sometimes I do wonder, like, am I accomplishing anything? Right? I just feel like I'm doing all these actions and the turns take a really long time. But is there something actually like happening? So okay, so we have the Dina, so we can remove the potion. So overall, that is going to be good. And then, okay, so that is not ideal, but we will next turn. Next turn, we'll just get the Dina back. So we'll see what they do. Um, because we can always go, we can basically with all these cards, we can draw through our entire, like we can get the Dina shuffled back in with LilWaker, and then we can get it back. And honestly, we could even do like a PoppinPete or something. So okay, so we're gonna do, all right, I think we'll do the Bashful Swordsman because I want to go through hmm. Yeah, because I could have played the champion going straight to Dina, but then I wouldn't have had any unflopping to do. So it's a little, yeah, so we'll get the Dina back and we'll destroy both of these potions. So maybe I should have gone straight for the champion. But okay, so we can do okay, so we can do a Bellyacher first on the on the swordsman. Now they do have enough pudge that they could do a layer lasagna. So we might have to, but we can do, okay, so we can do the Bellyacher. So we can get another Bellyacher. And then we can do the Bellyacher on the Bellyacher to get the Champion of the Clouds. So then yeah, maybe they're gonna have a piece of removal. But I think even if they have a piece of removal, it's going to not be that big of a deal for us. And then we're going to, um, yeah, I guess we'll Bellyacher the champion. Oh, no, 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 no. I have to first unflop the Bellyacher. I put the, I'll put those two back in my deck. Yeah, because I'm kind of running out of Champion of the Clouds. So we need to put a bunch of stuff back into the deck. So I do think, right, they will have a piece of removal at some point. I probably should have, no, wait, it wouldn't have mattered to use the other LilWaker because Lair Lasagna can remove whatever. So, okay, so we do that. So we will, yeah, I'd like to actually remove a relic. Like if I had a Tina or something, that would be good. But I don't have that, so we'll just go for the champion now. And maybe they'll remove this Bellyacher, and then we'll have to try again. So, but I think what we have enough. Do we have enough to try again? Um, yeah, we have enough flops and unflops to try again. So even if they use a action now, I'll be able to still get it done. So we now do this. We get the Dina. And the nice thing is, um, so if they have another Gotham, we can just do the whole thing again. So let's see. I do wonder if I should play a second Dina. Okay, so they're going to do the Lair Lasagna. So, okay, so then the question is, can I actually do this again? So I can use Bellyacher on the Bellyacher. So, okay, so Bellyacher on the Bellyacher to get a champion. Yeah, I think I can do it again. So I'll Bellyacher the Bellyacher in order to get a champion. And then I'll unflop the Bellyacher. And then, okay. And then I will unflop the Bellyacher. Okay, I need to put the Dina back. And I guess I'll put a Bellyacher back. Because at this point, we're also running out of Bellyachers. So we'll see if they have another Gotham. Because if they don't have another Gotham, I finally will get this to work. And Bellyacher on the champion. Now the little wake, like as you can see, the LilWakers are just so powerful in this deck, just enabling us to get infinite cycle on everything. Okay, so we get the Dina back. Okay, now let's try this again because we really want to just remove these relics. So at this point, surely, my gosh. Okay, so they had another. Okay, well we are really making them use stuff. But okay, so next turn maybe will be it. Okay, let's do a card advantage check. So I'm at 12 and they're at 10. So we've managed to get a card advantage of 2. So okay, so we do this. So the problem is we are down to our final Bellyacher. So maybe we should have so if they can remove this Bellyacher, then we are in trouble. But so let's see. Hmm. Yeah, if they have removal for this Bellyacher, I'm in trouble. But let's just try. Because maybe they don't. Maybe they're going for the board clear here. Oh, I needed to shuffle the Dina back in. Okay, so that was a problem. Okay, so I messed that up badly. Because I didn't shuffle the Dina back in first. Okay, so oof. So okay, so I've played this really badly. So let's see if they have removal like a layer lasagna, I'm in a ton of trouble. So I think okay, so but okay, they didn't. Okay, so now we get another Bellyacher. Okay, so now we have two Bellyachers. Okay, so now I definitely want to un unflop the Bellyacher, put the two champions back in. All right, so can we get back to getting a Dina is the question. Okay, because they can't actually have removal. So because they're out of purple pudge, right? So I think unless they're playing Sunburn, which is unlikely, they can't actually play Arizona. So if I do a Bellyacher into the Bellyacher, oh, so I shouldn't have done the LilWaker yet. So Bellyacher into Bellyacher, then I unflop with Twist. Yeah, okay, so I ordered this wrong. I should have done the LilWaker after. I should have gotten rid of the flop Bellyacher. Yeah, so okay, so I messed this up. Um, but I have the WhataTwists, so I'll be able to. Yeah, I really just if they have another Gotham, this is going to be very painful. But at this point, I'm so committed to this. Oh, that was definitely a mistake. I should have unflopped the LilWaker because I need to shuffle cards back into my deck because I have a lot of powerful cards I need back in my deck. Okay, so we have Dina back. Okay, now let's try to get rid of the Potion Commotion. So let's see if they don't have an answer this time. They have another Gotham. I will be so sad because okay, so this is finally working. Okay, so then I'm gonna use the WhataTwist on the LilWaker, and then I'm gonna use LilWaker on the Dina. Like I just need to. Okay, then what do I want to shuffle back? Because I'm just really trying to also to get all the good cards back in my deck. So the LilWaker and the Bellyacher. No, I think I'll put the champion back. All right. So this is definitely a slow, grindy situation, but okay. So maybe we got this under control now. So the problem is we don't really have any penguins to. We need like something else to start the chain, some small penguins. So hopefully we'll draw something nice. Okay, so 10. So we lost a card advantage there because yeah, we used a twist for no reason, or not for no reason, but well, we did waste a twist. Okay, so TinaWhoTears, perfect. So now we've got the board under control, and we've got a TinaWhoTears who can turn into another Bellyacher. So the striking swordsman. Okay, so we can even lose the vibe check if we want. Okay, so Bellyacher will go on Tina because that will get us another Bellyacher, and then yeah, so that'll get us another Bellyacher. Let's get the non-foil one. And then LilWaker will unflop the Bellyacher, LilWaker, and Champion. Okay, I'm mainly doing this actually not because I want the Bellyacher unflopped, but I'm really just doing this in order to um I'm doing that in order to just get cards back in my deck. So I don't think I don't think there's anything else I want to do because there's no yeah, there's really nothing else. I need more, like, small penguins. Okay, so Little with Hoops is perfect. So we'll do Little with Hoops, so hopefully we'll just draw a ton of cards with Little with Hoops this turn. That's why we play 4 Little with Hoops. So they might okay, so Peace Out Penguin is definitely a problem. So let's see what they can do with Peace Out Penguin. So we'll play Little with Hoops first. Let's see if they immediately, okay, so they just let us draw. Okay, so then we're gonna do LilWaker on the Little with Hoops. Yeah, I guess we'll put this small stuff back. Yeah, Tina. Yeah, we want Tina back so that we can actually get Tina. So then let's draw with Little Hoops again. Okay, and I think we will just let them take initiative here because I want to force them, like, if they use the peace out, I want to, in response, use a Bellyacher. So I gave up a draw on the Little Hoops, or like the ability to use it with the Bellyacher. But had I used the Bellyacher, then in response, they could have peace outed. Maybe it's fine because I had a second Bellyacher, but I just didn't want to end up in a situation with no Bellyachers. And I have LilZoomer now next turn, so I want to do basically LilZoomer to bounce the peace out back. And I really like the idea of losing this 5 check because I do feel like they're going to try to clear the board. That's something that they're kind of gearing up for. So this will be a like yeah, like that they're going to try to do the like drop of attention, clear the board. So we will get rid of the we'll get rid of the peace out, or should we get rid of the peace out or the striking? I think we'll get rid of the peace out. Um yeah, we can get rid of the peace out, and then we'll play the Little with Hoops. What do we want to use as a rod? I guess we'll use the I guess we can use the champion as a rod. Because the idea here now is we can just destroy everything with Dina. So first let's draw with Little with Hoops. And then okay, SpringaLeak, perfect. Okay, so now we can finally deal with a drop of attention if we get a second yeah, because I think they're gonna go for the board clear here. So I should have waited. Yeah, I should have waited till I had hmm. Yeah, okay, that was a mistake. Okay, no, okay, so they're doing nothing about it. Okay. Because I do really want the second I want the second blue pudge to deal with a drop of attention. But okay, so we will but I think okay, since they didn't do anything about that, I will yeah, I will just kind of go for it again. And then yeah, so I'll get Dina again. And then with Dina, I'll get rid of the other relic. So card advantage wise, we're doing insane. Um, but can we actually win this turn? Is that possible? I think it would be difficult, right? Because we don't really have a good way to deal with a striking swordsman. So I think we need to just get yeah, so this is where like putting something like Samantha Feathers in would be good. But we don't have that. So I could get the, okay, so could I ice the LilZoomer actually just to lose it? Yeah, if I ice the LilZoomer just to lose it, just so that I can shuffle it back in so that next turn I can build to it, that might be the way to go. But okay, so now we have 2 blue pudge for SpringaLeak. So since we're not going to use the LilZoomer, I think we wanna just ice the LilZoomer. I know it's just kind of like just sacrificing a card for no reason, but we want the LilZoomer back in our deck, and then we basically let's unflop Dina. Wait, no. We can unflop. Oh no, we can't unflop the LilWaker. Okay, we unflop that. Okay, now we put the LilZoomer and the hoops back in the deck. Okay, so we are slowly get running out of cards in our ice, but I think that's good because also they will run Binkus, so this prevents Binkus from working. Okay, is there anything we want to upgrade? No, I think we like everything the way it is now. So now we have SpringaLeak, and the goal next turn will be just to get the Zoomer to get the Swordsman returned. So let's see what they play. Um, or if we had a Champion of the Clouds, we could probably get bigger than the Swordsman. Okay, so they have the Peace Out. So we don't have a good answer to the Peace Out. Um, but I think okay, so we think we play the Extrovert. I think we just play PoppinPete. Or is there a way? Yeah, I think I just want to limit them to not be able to play later lasagna, and we play Little with Balloons. So the idea is we basically are going to look for the zooming penguin. Do we want to just go one more turn? No, I think we just go for it. Okay, do we want to bellyache the Little with Balloons into another Waker? Um, no, I think we'll just go straight for the Champion of the Clouds. So now we'll see if the Peace Out Penguin does something. So get the Champion of the Clouds. Okay, so now do we have 2 blue pudge? No, we don't have 2 blue pudge. So I think maybe we just stop here. Because I need to be able to play SpringaLeak on the drop of attention that's coming. So, but now with Champion of the Clouds, we will be able to get really big. Okay, so well, the only thing is the Peace Out Penguin will be able to yeah, the Peace Out Penguin will be able to remove our our counter spell because it can remove our blue pudge. Okay, so Inspiring Story is good. Yeah, so I think we just kind of I'm gonna keep well, if I play this, no. I'm gonna keep this in my hand in case I have the heads I win, tails you lose. So okay, so we're tied with 8 on the vibe check, but this also makes a Peace Out much worse. So we will go for removing Feather Forecast as first with Dina, and maybe that will trigger them to have to play some actions. So I really just need to get one LilWaker a little bigger. But I think this is yeah, so let's start with Dina on the Feather Forecast. So let's see, because I really want them to activate the Peace Out, so I see how that's going. And that will enable me to react appropriately. Okay, so now their Peace Out is being used. Okay. So we could layer lasagna this, or we could counterspell that. But okay, so what's in there? They have one. Yeah, but they could have any amount in their ice. So I don't want the board clear to happen. So I have to keep the SpringaLeak. Like I have to always keep two blue pudge on the ready. So I think in response though, I could use LilBellyacher on the Champion of the Clouds, right? if I use a LilBellyacher on the Champion of the Clouds, what that will enable me to do is get the Penguin who zooms in, and that will enable me to return the Striking Swordsman to their hand. And then win the vibe check, theoretically. So, okay. Wow, that was that was quite an intense game. All right. So, let's look at the deck list. Okay, wait, let's first reflect on the game. Um, so this was like, all right, so you really can see how the mechanics of this deck work. So overall, let's see. So SpringaLeak was very useful because, right, I do want more blue pudge for SpringaLeak. I think that would have helped. The Inspiring Story actually was also quite helpful at the end. Zoom. So Zoom and Dina, it's almost like I want 2 copies of each, right? Because that would have been so useful there. Yeah, so overall, some more blue pudge would be good. I think Dima and Zoom are definitely cards that are ones where I really want to fit 2 copies of each in because it was such a useful top end. Um, we didn't really use the Champion of the Clouds win condition, but I think in other matchups it's good. I liked, yeah, I think overall the core engine of the deck was working quite well there. And we just like slowly grounded out. Like I think card advantage at the end. We're at 18, 19, 20. They're at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we ended up getting up 4 cards. Wow, they ended up with a lot of rods. I didn't even realize they got to so many rods. So, okay, let's look at the deck list. See what changes we can make. All right, so when we look at the deck list, let's see. Okay, so I want to fit in 1 Zoomer and 1 more Dina. Okay, so we can cut 1 Little with Balloon. Do we want to just cut Little with Balloon entirely? Is that an issue or not to cut Little with Balloon? What does Little with, yeah, but I also just I need like little stuff to start the chain with. But I guess why do we have Little with, well, Little with Balloon is really nice because if you plan on turn 2 and then you Bellyacher on turn 4, that's great. I think LilExtrovert, we don't need 4 copies. I think that is something we can definitely cut down at least 1 copy. Okay, so then that will, okay, 1 second. We're gonna put in 1 Zoomer and 1 Dima for sure. And maybe we cut Little Balloons down to 2 copies. Okay, so then let's see. Is this kind of what we're thinking? I think this looks good. So what are the 3 ofs? The extrovert, yeah. Okay, so I think this might be a good build for the deck for now. So I think let's call it here. Overall, super super good. I think that last game really showed how this deck works. So again, like I said at the beginning, I think the biggest challenges with this deck are going to be that first of all, you have to draw Bellyacher, and you saw that I was struggling to draw Bellyacher. Or once you have Bellyacher, if they can remove Bellyacher, then you're in trouble. But other than that, I think the core engine of the deck is crazy. Like the Little with Hoops, Bellyacher, LilWaker combos, those kind of get out of control. You're running with Zoomer and Dina at the top, so that can also be very useful. Like I wish there was a way to get them into your ice. Oh, Cooking Penguin. We were talking about Cooking Penguin. Cooking Penguin. What could Cooking Penguin go in for? Because one of the challenge, well, I guess we don't need Cooking Penguin. The reason we wanted Cooking Penguin was if your Zoomer became a rod. Like, right, if stuff becomes a rod, you're then in trouble. So I think, yeah. Well, anyway. But so far, like I said, I think at this point, I'm still undefeated with it. Now, again, I haven't played that many games, and I really don't think this deck is that good. Like, I think ultimately, once Coliseum comes back, playing a version of this deck that's more Coliseum focused would be better. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.